This is the fifth video on the creation of a gear using SolidWorks design tables, and we want to create a segment here that will be equal to the width of the tooth at the pitch circle, so that we can then create a mirror line and then mirror this profile to get the other side of the tooth. So I'm going to get back into the sketch and create a center construction line that goes from the center of the circle, and we want to move carefully along this pitch circle until we get that intersection, that little squirrely icon there, and that means we're going to snap to the intersection of the pitch circle and the gear tooth profile. And now I'm just going to move out a little bit and snap again to the pitch circle, back to the center, and then back out to the midpoint of this line, and that of course gives me a perpendicular bisector. Now you may remember that before I put in these lines, the sketch was fully defined. So if I have this constrained to the spline, and this point of course is constrained there, and this is constrained to the midpoint, then if I put in an angle here, it should go back to being fully defined. So I'm going to pick on that line and here, and again the angle is going to be 360 degrees, in this case divided by 66, because there's 33 teeth and 33 spaces, all equal sectors. And okay, now that's interesting. This is now says it's fully defined. Actually, in my experience, usually this when you do that, for some reason it doesn't fully define it in the past. I'm not sure why it is now, but that's a good thing. So could be it was a bug that SolidWorks fixed, although I think I did this yesterday and these lines were still blue. So anyways, it should be fully defined, even if it was saying underdefined. If you try to grab any of these points, you can't move them because they really are truly fully defined. So anyways, we now have this point, this line here, that we can use as a mirror point. So remember, we started with a construction line and went from the center to this intersection of the spline with a pitch circle, and then over to here, back to the center, and back out to the midpoint here. So we'll go ahead and do a mirror, and we want to get that short radial line and the spline, and then we want to mirror about, click in here to activate that, mirror about that edge right there. I'm going to actually get out of this. I forgot to do something. Before I do that, I want to put in a tangency between the spline and this radial line. Right now that spline comes into that point, but it's not necessarily tangent. So if I click on that point, control key, click on that, and throw in a tangency, now that's tangency is there, and you'll notice that it suddenly became underdefined again. Doesn't make sense. As I said, if I try to grab that blue dot, can't drag it anywhere. Blue means it's not defined, fully defined, right? If I try to grab that, can't drag that, can't drag this point anywhere. Says it's underdefined, but it really is defined. So now I'll go ahead and put in use the mirror command, pick the short radial line and the spline, and then mirror about the perpendicular bisector and accept that. So now we have the other side of the gear tooth, and we're all set. So I'm going to get out of this sketch, and we're ready now to extrude this. I'm going to pick this the dedendum line in there, hit extrude, and this is going to be 3/8. Okay, and I'm going to have to pick up from here with the next video.